Tell me that it's evolution. We don't want to change the world. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? Alright. 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 Say God is solution. No. We don't love to see the man. Ask me for a contribution. No. We don't do what we can. But if you want money, we'll put it in minds that day. Understanding what only has to alright. 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 We don't want to change it. It's institution. No. You better free your mind and stay there. Letting people carry you into the channel now. Ain't gonna make you with anyone. Alright. Alright. Alright.
Cold beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and radio world. I'm raised underneath the shade of Georgia pine, and that's only sweet tea, pecan pie, homemade wine, where peaches grow. Now it's not much to talk about, but still when love is grown in southern drought, and a little bit of chicken fried. No beer on Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and radio like a song. See the love in one's eyes, feel the touch on the sure sky. No other's love. It's funny how it's the little things in life that mean what's not where you live, what you drive, or the price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on peace of mind beside from the north. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise glasses for to liberty. No beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and radio world. I see sunrise, see love in one's eyes, feel a touch on my chest now, and you understand. Thank God for my life. 4 stars and stripes, may freedom forever fly. Let it ring, salute the ones who die, the ones that give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like our chicken fries. No beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and radio love. I see sunrise, see love in one's eyes, feel a touch of a precious child. No one else love is God. No beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and radio world. I see sunrise, see love in one's eyes, feel touch of a precious child. No one else love. If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember? Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to tonight's rally with Donald J. Trump Jr. It's great to be here in Sparks, Nevada, in your beautiful states. We'd like to welcome the host of our event, Mr. John Phillips. He is the owner of Peterbilt here in Sparks. He is also the owner of Silver State Trucking Company. He's been an outstanding host for us this evening for tonight's event, supporting the president's re-election. Please welcome to the stage the owner and the host, Mr. John Phillips.
You know, I'm going to tell you, a great crowd considering the smoke and everything else that we had. It's quite unfortunate. Maybe you can talk to one of the co-members that had something to do with California smoke. Gavin Newsom, the emperor. I don't know what's the right appropriate thing to do or not. But anyway, how many were in Minden? Yeah. That was fabulous. I watched people in wheelchairs and walkers walking 2.5 miles to get there. And the veterans and everybody else, it was a humbling experience that I really had with this whole thing. So how did I get involved with the Trump campaign? My dad went to Notre Dame, and so I hosted a party to go back to find out where he lived. I had Rick Revilio from Western Supply, Rick, good Republican. Paulinus, president of the Nevada Trucking Association, also a great fundraiser and represents us well in Carson City, and Adam Laxalt. So we go back. We love Adam. I love Adam. But we kicked off his gubernatorial here 2 years ago, but I really didn't know him that well. So we spent 4 days at the Trump Tower in Chicago, and then we went down to the Notre Dame USC football game. So, and I got a chance to see where my dad lived. It was in Welsh Hall, which is now a girls' dorm. So it was an all-boys school when he went back to 1933. But anyway, talking to Adam, I said, Adam, tell me what, the history behind you. We all know about his family. I mean, the pioneers in the state and did so many things. But anyway, he said, I went to Georgetown, undergraduate, and got a law degree. And he said there were 600 students and there were 12 conservatives. So I think that's where he got his debating skills in over the years. He served 2 terms in Afghanistan. And you all know Ron DeSantis, the governor? Okay, great guy. But anyway, that was Adam's roommate for a period of time, and that's how they became really good friends. So he met his wife back there at I think it was at Georgetown. It could have been the Newman Center. I'm not sure quite all what took place. But the other thing he told me that at the Naval Academy, they would choose 2 professors to come in and teach a class. There were 600 applicants. Adam Laxalt was the first one chosen out of 2. So he's one of the finest young men I think I've ever met. And you were in Minden. I think the president talked very to him and saying, hey, help us out with the harvesting and the voter fraud and all the other crazy things that are going on. So again, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I know we need everybody's support. This is going to be a tough one, kids. All right? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Phillips, our host this evening. Give him a big round of applause. If we could take an attitude of prayer, I'd like to call to the podium Pastor and former State Senator, Mr. Maurice Washington, please.
Boy, it's exciting. Whoa, this is really loud. It's exciting to be here tonight. And I tell you what, I am more and more pumped up. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to vote. Skip the mail-in ballots. I'm going to show up in person. I'm going to make sure my ballot counts. Listen, if you would just bow your heads with me in a word of prayer, we want to honor those men and women that serve in law enforcement. We want to honor those men and women that serve in the armed forces. We want to thank them for their services and their family members for supporting them. So let's just pray. Father God, we really want to say thank you to you. We give you all praise, honor, and glory. Surely above you there is no other. Beside you there is no other. You are God and God all by yourself. God, we pray for the success of this great country. We understand that we're at a pivotal point. We're at a season that only you can guide the affairs of men. And I would pray, oh God, that you would just bless your manservant. As you told Esther, God, there's a time that men need to rise up and accept the calling, and our great president has accepted that calling. And now we pray that you put your hands upon him. The mantle of God is upon him as he leads this great nation. Those men and women, oh God, that are going for public service offices, we pray that you would bless them too. Pray that you bless this gathering, bless our families, and keep them in the center of your divine will. To you be the glory and the honor. And we thank you for our Savior, our Lord, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pastor Maurice Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Next up to the stand, honoring our country, I'd like to introduce the longest-serving state Republican chairman in the United States of America, the chairman of the Nevada Republican Party, Mr. Michael McDonald.
How we doing, Northern Nevada? Make Washoe really red. Let's make Nevada red. I was talking to my buddy Robert Eitover in the back. He says, take a little leisure because we want to hear something from you. So, Robert, this is for you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. I want you to think back, ladies and gentlemen. Think back where you were these last couple months when the legislature decided they wanted to steal your vote. Think back when the legislature, the Democrats, decided in the middle of the night to change the law with less than 100 days to mail in ballots. Not only to do that, they decided to take out the law that was a felony and just mail it down to a misdemeanor. So you can't tell me they're not stacking the deck. We had a great protest, and I saw a lot of you. We were together in Carson City when that went through. We were there when they had the protest against the police. A lot of you stood. We stood shoulder to shoulder about this. And I told you on the steps of Carson City, on the steps of the Capitol, mark my words, Governor Sisolak, when about a week out, is going to lower the base so he can get everybody out to vote. So why in the world would they change and take your ballots? Because they cannot beat you. They cannot win if we go toe-to-toe. Many of you have come shoulder to shoulder for Donald Trump to make sure our assembly and our senators get reelected and elect new ones so we turn Nevada red. Think about that. If they can't beat you, they have to change the entire laws so they can cheat. Now, if they're not worried about cheating, why not play it straight up? Ladies and gentlemen, you've come together. You've united around Donald Trump. When we had the peaceful protest in Minden, Nevada, the one of many peaceful protests in Minden, Nevada, give yourself a round of applause because that was the largest peaceful protest in the nation. Now, we looked at it this way. We want to be able to say our First Amendment rights. We hold that sacred. We don't want to let any governor take away our rights. We don't want to let any legislature take away our rights. You have to send the message. This campaign isn't about Donald Trump. This campaign's about you. You think they're coming after Donald Trump? No, Donald Trump's standing in the way to make sure they can't get to you. That man needs your help. His family needs your help. If you watched the debate last night, did you watch the debate last night? Our president's a pit bull. He came out the gate right away to have his voices heard because you know why? He cannot get a fair shake. He wasn't debating just Joe Biden. He was debating Wallace and Biden. Why is he so tuned up? Well, if you watched the news today, you saw James Comey couldn't answer questions. There was a collusion. They have done everything they can to make sure this man does not get reelected. They've indicted people with him. They've gone over to hurt his family. They've made up these hoax Russian lies. They were trying to impeach him when this pandemic came in and tried to handcuff him when he was trying to save America. Then he stops the border coming in, and what do? They start calling him a racist, a xenophobe. No, he's an American first man. Give me some of that. The time now is to never take anything lightly. I'm begging you guys, this is all your campaign. This is all of us. It's all responsibility. I may be chairman of the Republican Party, and I have some of our officers here. We work day to day, but this is all of our campaign. This isn't about one person leading the party. This is your party. And if you're independent and you're here today, please, I need you to put everything aside and get out and vote for Donald Trump. If you're a walkaway Democrat, I thank you. I welcome you. Get out and vote for Donald Trump. But I need you to get your neighbors. I want you to grab the neighbors. I want you to grab the store clerk, your babysitter, the man who cuts your yard, anybody you can imagine. Make sure they're registered, and you drag them to the polls. If your neighbors cannot make it down, they're elderly, you help them out. You help. Hey, the Democrats open the door, so you help them out with the ballots. You take their ballots, you take it over to the campaign office in Washoe, it'll get to the register. I guarantee it. We put this up. If you have time to volunteer to be a poll watcher, stop by the campaign office, the Donald Trump campaign office, and sign up to help watch polls. We have attorneys that have signed up, but we are going to put common people like me and like you to make sure they don't steal our ballots, to make sure they don't steal our votes. We need to hear from you. The silent majority needs to arise one more time. Never let anybody steal from you. Never let them disrespect our veterans and our police officers that are here today. Thank you for your service. I want to give a shout out to the mayor and city council of Sparks. They tried to stop this peaceful protest. This is my fourth. I intend to have a lot more, and I want all you to show up. Ladies and gentlemen, they cannot silence our voices. This is a fight for American freedom. This is a fight for democracy. Think about that when you're saying this pledge. Take those words to heart. Many of us have family members that didn't make it back from wars. Nothing is more important than to remember why we're all standing together and defending freedom. But the problem is we're defending freedom against our own people. We need to send a message to this man as the right leader, that Donald Trump will lead us out of the darkness into the light, out of this pandemic. But more importantly, you show his family love when he gets here, because I brag about you all the time. I brag about Nevada like you've never, ever seen. So God bless you. Hey, what do we say? Let's respect this, huh? Everyone, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless you, Ray. God bless you. Let's take this.
State Party Chairman Michael McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I'd like to call up to the podium your state Trump co-chairman, Mr. Adam Laxall.
All right, everybody, how we doing out there? Are we motivated? All right, well, we had a little debate last night, right? Did everybody watch it? And so predictably, the pundits are attacking the president. And, you know, look, it's pretty clear. There's no question that the president wasn't soft during the debate, and he wasn't kind and cuddly. We have a warrior in this president, right? The voters got to see a warrior president that has fought for us for 3.5 years, every single day under siege. And what did they get to see on the other guy? A 100-year-old career politician bumbling through his answers. All right? Now, what else did we get out of the debate? We got something that you really can't put into numbers yet, and that is the media simply will not cover the other side of the story. And the president knows that, which is why he took some of these things that nobody's hearing about directly to the American people. So what did he take first? How about Hunter Biden? We're clapping for Hunter Biden? So, look, I think we all agree families in general should be off limits in politics. But should families be off limits if your father is not a former politician, the sitting vice president of the United States? These things the president mentioned last night occurred while his father was the vice president of the United States. The $3.5 million from the Russian billionaire, the millions of dollars from the Chinese for this investment company. We all know by now he had no experience in any of this stuff, and yet he made hundreds of thousands, probably millions and millions of dollars while his father was a sitting vice president. How many of you think that is news? It's your job to continue to spread the word. And I just saw on Twitter some good news. Searches for Hunter Biden are now up tenfold in Google, as they should be. And this is what Trump knows, that the media and all the pundits still don't understand. What else did he get out there yesterday? Well, we had the most bombshell news drop yesterday afternoon. You had the Director of National Intelligence declassify this one-page letter that showed very clearly that the Hillary Clinton campaign worked with the Russians to set up the Russia collusion hoax. What else was in there? It said that they met with Obama and Brennan. If you haven't heard that, I'm sure you're just shocked. When I read it, I sat for 30 minutes speechless. That is how far they went to not just defeat the president. This is about them holding power, and they will do or say whatever it takes to hold power. And that turned into the Russia collusion investigation, the Mueller probe, all of these unbelievable things that unfortunately the media just did not cover that bombshell news. But tens of millions of Americans heard about it last night. What else did he cover? Well, he covered voter fraud. And you guys all hear it. Anytime you watch the news or you read an article, the media dutifully fact checks and says there's no such thing as voter fraud. Everybody see that? The reality is, of course there's voter fraud. There's voter fraud all over this country. Just this week, you had the video about the ballot harvester selling or getting paid for harvesting ballots in Minnesota. You had 100,000 ballots go out in New York, and they sent it to, they had the wrong name in the return address. So some of the fraud that we're talking about is malicious, intentional fraud. Some of the fraud is just knowing that there's no way to change an entire voting system and get it right. How many of you would change your entire company or your entire business with less than 90 days to go of something that's incredibly important? Nobody here would do that. But we know the media just simply will not report those facts. When the president got on this issue, I can tell you that as we traveled the state in the Trump bus, Nevadans all over this state are onto it. They're following it and they're concerned about it. And we have the president to thank for raising the attention of this incredibly important issue. How about law and order? You know, as the former Attorney General, I am just shocked and appalled that the leaders in this state, the governor, the Attorney General, and all of the Democratic leadership, when law enforcement needed them most, they didn't stand with them. They went into a special session to handcuff our law enforcement. And I remember distinctly, and many of you probably remember, after the October 1 shooting, these same Democrat elected stood with law enforcement and said, our law enforcement is the best around. What changed from 2017 to today? Well, we know that our law enforcement didn't somehow become racist and that they didn't become more systemically racist. I'll tell you what changed. Politics changed. It became unpopular for them to stand with the police with their base. And the president pressed that issue. And it got the vice president to say, Antifa is just an idea. Does anybody here think Antifa is just an idea? I think not. What else did he get the vice president to do? He said, Joe, tell me a single law enforcement agency in all of America that is supporting you. In all of America. And he couldn't come up with one. Why? Because even police unions in Las Vegas that have never supported Republicans, they're supporting Republicans this year because they know better. So I encourage you, and look, you guys may not need encouraging, but as you see the pundits and you see the national polls that continue to do what they did in 16, which is say the president's down and the race is over, they're doing that for a reason. They're suppressing the vote. They're trying to make all of you feel like it's over. Well, we all know it's not over, right? When we did the Minden rally just a week ago, on 24 hours notice, we had almost 30,000 people, a sea of humanity, show up for President Donald Trump. Millions and millions of people love this guy. And what do they love most about him? I believe because he is a fighter. And people know we need a fighter now more than ever. They're tired of Republicans that will not fight back. They're tired of the establishment. They want somebody that's going to get in there and just slug away for all of you and all of us. So, I leave you with the final call to action. It's up to you. We need to go push till the end. You need to convince that swing voter because they're not going to hear it from the media. You need to convince the voter this president has done more in 3.5 years than Joe Biden has done in 47 years, right? And if they don't like his personality, you need to talk them through that. This isn't a personality contest. This is about results, promises made and promises kept. Can I count on you for that? "35 days. We need to add Nevada to the roll call of states. Everybody remember in 2016 where you were? Trump had no chance of winning. In fact, I think it was like 95% chance that Hillary was gonna win. And in came Florida. In came Pennsylvania. In came Ohio. And all of us were like, it's happening. America has risen up. And they're going to put Donald Trump in the White House. Are we going to put him in the White House again? Let's add Nevada to the roll call of states. And let's win this for Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Mr. Adam Laxall, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay with you, girl. Things just couldn't be the same. 'Cause I'm as free as a bird now. And this bird you cannot change. Oh, and the bird you cannot change. And this bird you cannot change. Lord knows I can't change. line for lemonade. They were the cutest kids I'd ever seen in this front yard. As they handed me my glass, smiling, thinking to myself, man, what a picture perfect postcard this would make of America. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a ride in a Chevrolet. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June, and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. Later on when I got home, I flipped the TV on. I saw a little town that some big twister tore apart. People came from miles around just to help their neighbors out. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad that I live in America. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a ride in a Chevrolet. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June, and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. Now we don't always get it all right. There's no place else I'd rather build my life. 'Cause it's a kid with a chance, it's a rock and roll band, it's a farmer cutting hay. It's a big flag flying in a summer wind over a fallen hero's grave. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a welcome home parade. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June, and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. It's America. Oh yeah. Woo. Sun coming up over New York City. School bus driver in a traffic jam, staring at the faces in a rearview mirror, looking at the promise of the promised land. One kid dreams of fame and fortune. One kid helps pay the rent. One could end up going to prison. son and a banker's daughter. All they want is everything. She came out here to be an actress. He was a singer in a band. They just might go back to Oklahoma and talk about the stars they could have been. All in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue. All in America, where we dream as big as we want to. If we all get a chance, everybody gets to dance. All in America. We all get a chance. Everybody gets to dance. All in America.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just a few minutes away for the arrival of Kimberly Guilfoyle and Mr. Donald Trump Jr. Again, they'll be arriving shortly. We need a fired up crowd here in Northern Nevada, so I need that from you folks.
My old man, sad old man, spent his life living off the land. Dirty hands and a clean soul. It breaks his heart seeing foreign cars filled with fuel that isn't ours, and wearing cotton we didn't grow. He's got the red, white, blue, flying high on the farm. Simplified tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag in the back it says USA. He won't buy nothing that he can't fix. With WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench, he ain't printed dust. He's just made in America. He loves his wife, she's that wife that decorates on the 4th of July, but says every day is Independence Day. She's golden rule, teaches school. Some folks say it isn't cool, but she says the Pledge of Allegiance anyway. He's got the red, white, blue, flying high on the farm. Simplified tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag, and the back it says USA. He won't buy nothing that he can't fix. With WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench, he ain't prejudiced. He's just made in America. All in the heart of land. Raised up a family. King James and Uncle Sam. He's got the red, white, blue, flying high on the farm. Simplified tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag, and the back it says USA. Won't buy nothing that he can't fix. With WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench, he ain't printed dust. He's just made in America. story that my daddy tells religiously, like clockwork every time he sees an opening in a conversation about the way things used to be. I just roll my eyes and make a beeline for the door. I'd always end up starry-eyed, cross-legged on the floor, hanging on to every word. Man, the things I heard. It was harder times, longer days, 5 miles of school uphill both ways. We were cane switch raised, a dirt floor poor. Of course, that was back before the war. Yeah, your uncle and I made quite a pair, flying F-15s through hostile air. He went down, but they missed me by. He'd always stop right there and say, "That's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. That's your chin held high, as your tear falls down. Guts up dead, just stuck out like a small town flag a flying, or a newborn baby crying in the arms of the woman that you love. That's something to be proud of." Son graduating college, that was Mama's dream. But I was on my way to anywhere else when I turned 18. 'Cause when you got a fast car, you think you got everything. I learned quick those GTOs don't run on faith. I ended up broken down in some town north of LA, working maximum hours for minimum wage. Well, I fell in love, next thing I know, the babies came, the car got slow. Sure do miss that old hot rod. Sure saved gas in them foreign jobs. Dad, I wonder if I ever let you down. If you're ashamed how I turned out. Well, he lowered his voice, then he raised his voice. Said, "Let me tell you right now. That's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. You don't need to make a million. Just be thankful for working. If you're doing what you're able, putting food there on the table, and providing for the family that you love. That's something to be proud of. And if all you ever really do is the best you can, well, you did it, man. That's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. That's your chin held high, the tear falls down. Guts up dead, just stuck out like a small town flag a flying, or a newborn baby crying in the arms of the woman that you love. That's something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. Yeah, that's something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. Still couldn't wipe out that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, I remember my how could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep me silent. No, you fool me. The hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. Some strangers to you and me. made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays hail to the chief, ooh, they point the cannon at you. Now, it ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no senator, son. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. No. Some folks are on silver spoon in hand. Y'all don't to help themselves, y'all. But when the tax man comes to the job, y'all the house looking like a rummage sale. Yes. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no millionaire son. No. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. No. Some folks inherit star-spangled eyes. Ooh, they send you down to war. And when you ask them, how much should we give? Ooh, the only answer, more. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no military son. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. No. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate son. It ain't me. Every man wants to be a macho man. To have this kind of body, always in demand. Jogging in the morning, go man go. Workouts in the health bar, muscles flow. You can best believe that he's a macho man. That he took it down with anyone he can. Hey, 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 hey. Macho man, yeah. I got to be a macho. I got to be a macho man, yeah. I got to be a macho. Oh, macho man, yeah. I got to be a macho man. Macho man, hey, hey. I got to be a macho. He has a funky walk. His western shirts and leather always look for walls. Funky with his body, he's a king. Call him Mr. Ego, dig his chain. You can best believe that he's a macho man. He likes to be the leader, he never trusts his friends. Hey, 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 hey. Macho man, yeah. I got to be a macho. I got to be a macho man, yeah. I got to be a macho. All right. Macho, macho man. Yeah, I've got to be a macho man. Macho, macho man. I've got to be a macho. All right. Macho, baby. Body, body, body. All right. Body, wanna feel my body. Wanna feel my body, baby. Body. All right. Body, come and feel my body. Come and feel my body. Hey, yeah. Body. All right. Body, love to pop my body. Love to pop my body. Hey, yeah. Body. Ooh. Body is so hot in my body. Every man ought to be a macho, macho man. To live a life of freedom, machos make a stand. Have their own lifestyle and ideals. Senseless and confidence, life's a steal. You can best believe that he's a macho man. He's a special person in anybody's land. Hey, 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 hey. Macho, macho, macho man. Yeah, I got to be a macho. I got to be a macho, macho, macho. Yeah. I got to be a macho. Bring it down my chest, macho, macho man. I said it, my big mustache. All right, a macho. I got to be a macho, 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 macho man. I got to be a macho. Big macho, yeah. Macho man. Yeah, my macho. A macho man. Talking about a macho, macho man. Macho man. I got to be a macho. Hey. Macho, macho man. A macho. I got to be a macho.
Gloria, you're always on the run now, running after somebody. You gotta get him somehow. I think you got to slow down before you start blowing. I think you're headed for a breakdown, so be careful not to show it. You really don't remember. Was it something that he said? All the voices in your head calling Gloria. Gloria, don't you think about it? If everybody wants you, why isn't anybody calling? You don't have to answer. Leave them hanging on the line. Oh, calling Gloria. Gloria, Gloria. I think they got your number. Gloria. I think they got the alias. Gloria. That you've been living under. Gloria. But you really don't remember. Was it something that they said? All the voices in your head calling Gloria. Gloria, how's it gonna go down? Will you meet him on the main line? Or will you catch him on the rebound? Will you marry for the money? Take a lover in the afternoon. See your innocence slipping away. Don't believe it's coming back soon. And you really don't remember. Oh, it's something that he said. Oh, the voices in your head. Glory, glory, Gloria. Don't you think it's falling? If everybody wants you, why isn't anybody coming? You don't have to answer. Even bringing on the left hand. Glory, glory, Gloria. I think they got your number. I think they got the alias that you've been living under. But you really don't remember. Was it something that they said? Or the voices in your head? Glory, Gloria.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Duluth. Thank you. 34 days from now, we're going to win Minnesota. We're going to go and win 4 more beautiful years in the White House and do more than anybody's ever done before from the White House. We're looking to set records. I really enjoyed last night's debate with Sleepy Joe. I brought those hats out here because Minnesota's a little on the windy side. And like a genius, I sent them all out, and I'm getting blown to pieces, and that's fine. That's okay. I love it. I love you to have whatever we have. We have it together, that I can tell you. The verdict is in, and they say that we, all of us, won big last night. And I don't know, did you hear about this? In the history of cable television, had the highest ratings of any show in the history of cable television. And it had the second highest ratings of overall television in the history of television. Does anybody know what was first? Like MASH or something, I guess? MASH? No, they had the final episode of MASH. And I don't know what was first. Does anybody know? But we were second in the history of all of television, but the biggest ratings in the history of cable television. It's an honor. Last night, I did what the corrupt media has refused to do. I held Joe Biden accountable for his 47 years of lies, 47 years of betrayal, and 47 years of failure. I held Joe accountable for shipping your jobs and dreams abroad and for bowing to the violent mob at home. Can you imagine these people, the way they take over these Democrat cities? I don't even believe it. The whole nation saw the truth. Did you see last night? Name one. I said, Sleepy Joe, name one law enforcement group that supports you. And then Chris Wallace says, don't do that. That's not. Can you believe this guy? I was debating 2 people last night. I was debating 2 people last night. Joe Biden is too weak to lead this country. You know, Biden lost badly when his supporters are saying he should cancel the rest of the debates. Now I understand he's canceling the debates. Let's see what happens. I think that's not going to be a good move. I don't think that's going to be a good move. I don't think television with those ratings, they're never going to let him cancel. You don't know television like that. What are they going to do? You know, someday we're not going to be doing this anymore. What are they going to do without Trump? What are they going to do? Oh, those poor people. Look at all of them. Whoa, that's a lot of people. What are they going to do? What are they going to do when in 8, 12, maybe 16 years, I said, let's hang it up. Let's hang it up. 16 more years. But what he's doing is what you do when you lose. So let's see what he does. I don't think he's going to get out. And I've got news for Joe. If you ever became president, you have to deal with some of the toughest people in the world. And Chris Wallace is very, very easy by comparison, I will tell you. I know them all. I know them all. Liberal media is upset that I took the fight to Biden and exposed his very dangerous agenda. Oh, there's a beauty. Here we go. Here we go. There's another beauty out there. Go home to mom. Go home. Go home to mom. These are the same media outlets cheering violent demonstrations in the streets. CNN, the New York Times. They think rioting is just okay, just do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to wear masks. You just riot, 25,000 people standing on each other's face. Do whatever you want. Can you go to church? No. Can you go to restaurants? No. Can you do anything? No, but you can riot. That's okay. Arson's okay, but challenging Sleepy Joe is totally off limits. So disappointed in Fox. I'm not just running against Joe Biden. I'm running against the corrupt far-left media, socialists and communists in the Democrat Party and the special interests who've made a living bleeding our country dry. And that's what's happened for too long. We've turned it around. But don't forget, when they turned it around, I had to fight other things like a fake impeachment. I had to fight a lot of things that are not like, that wasn't in the agenda. Never forget, and we fought it very well. And frankly, we had great support from the Republican Party, except for one person, but that's it. We had great support. Never forget They are coming after me because I am fighting for you, and that's true. And this is a choice election. Our opponents put America last. I put America first, and that's what I've been doing for 3.5 years. Our opponents want to erase borders. I will defend our borders. You see what's going on our southern border. And by the way, that wall, 350 miles already, going to be finished very soon. They don't talk about the wall anymore, fellas. What's going on? They don't talk about it. They used to talk about it every day. He's not going to get his financing. But when you're a real estate developer, you always get financing. This was like easy. He's not going to get his financing. Then we got our finance. They don't talk about it anymore. We're up to 300, almost 360 miles. We're doing about 10 miles a week. And yeah, Mexico is paying for it. You do know that, right? They keep saying there's going to be a border charge at the border for the trucks and cars, and it won't even have to be a lot. There's so many cars and trucks going through, but Mexico's paying for it. And they've been great. They have 27,000 soldiers right now on our border, and we appreciate it. We appreciate the president of Mexico. Our opponents will send your jobs to China. I will keep your jobs in America. Our opponents want to erase our nation's core values, and I want to defend, preserve our nation's historic values. Our opponents stand with rioters. I stand with the heroes of law enforcement. Did you see last night? I said, say the words law enforcement. Don't even say good or bad. Sleepy Joe, say law enforcement. He goes, no, I'd rather not. Say law enforcement, Sleepy Joe. Law enforcement with safety. No, just law enforcement. They tell me that all the time too. Please just say law enforcement with safety, sir. No, it's just law enforcement. It's very simple. It's a very simple term. Not with safety, unsafety. I mean, it's law enforcement. He wouldn't say it, right? Then I said, name one group in the entire nation. I've got Minnesota now. I've got everybody. Name one group in the entire nation from law enforcement that's supporting you. Well, think Chris Wallace. Okay, let's go to the next question. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Let me protect him for Fox. Joe Biden says Antifa is just an idea. Well, ideas don't assault cops, and they don't burn down buildings. Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. I proudly received the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police, the National Association of Police Organizations, the National Troopers Coalition, the International Union of Police Associations, and law enforcement organizations and departments in Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota. Good. I was getting worried. Texas, New York's finest. They've never done it before. They came in New York's finest. These are great people. They could solve that problem in 2 minutes. All they want is their authority back. It's been taken away from them horribly. New York's finest. Never endorsed a candidate for president before, and they're great people. They can do it. New Jersey, Illinois, and many, many more. I won't bore you, but I could go on all night. I just a joke. Give me one, please. He was joking. I'll tell you, he got saved. Joe Biden is saying he owns the socialism and extremism in his party, that he owns it. It's not his party. It's not Joe's party. That's not. You got crazy Bernie, you have AOC +3. You got all these crazy people, these maniacs. You have the Green New Deal. How about the Green New Deal? He disavowed it. Then he said, no, I agree with it. I said, Joe, it's $100 trillion. That's more money than this country can make in the next 100 years if everything's perfect. It's so crazy. He wants to rebuild every building in the village. And take it down and rebuild every building. Let's say, does that include the Empire State Building? Let's take it down and rebuild it. These people are crazy. No more cows, no more airplanes, no more nothing. Biden even vowed to eliminate our tax cuts. That means he'll take away your child tax credits, because I gave you child tax credits, $1,000 a child. He wants to take away what I gave you. and revoke our historic tax relief. Right to the middle class it went. Joe Biden also refused to answer questions about packing the Supreme Court. Don't you love the Supreme Court? I mean, how good is Amy? How good is Amy? How good is Amy? You know, her professor at Notre Dame, one of the most highly respected. Fill that seat. Fill that seat. You better believe it. How good is she? So her professor, one of her professors, one of the most highly respected legal scholars in the country, said, been teaching for a long time, said she is the finest singer. She was first in her class, graduated first in her class. He said, she is the finest student he's ever had. Of all the students, thousands of students, she's the single best student that he's ever had. Now he's saying, you know, she ought to run for president instead of Joe. He was like last in his class. She ought to, can you imagine? This is a big difference. I don't know. How do you like Amy for the Supreme Court? Yes? If he gets elected, the hard left will appoint radical justices who will terminate the Second Amendment. No more guns. No more guns. As you all saw, Biden also refused to explain why his son Hunter was paid $3.5 billion, protected by Chris, by the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. And they talk about me with Russia. I have nothing to do with Russia. And took out $1.5 billion from China. He makes millions of dollars a year, right? Then he got the $183, right? $183,000 a month. Would anybody like that job? You don't have a job. You're not employed. You get thrown out of the military for unfortunate reasons. Your father becomes vice president, and you get hired for $183,000 a month with, I think, a $3 million upfront payment. I think they could have had him for less. Would anybody take that job? And he knows nothing about energy. What do you know about energy? Well, that's not my thing. Oh, that's okay. I mean, could you imagine if I did it? How about when Sleepy Joe said, you're not getting the $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor. When you get rid of the prosecutor, we'll send you the money. They got rid of the prosecutor. He said, now the money comes. I mean, can you imagine if I said that? Unbelievable. And the press doesn't want to talk about it. And Chris Wallace said, well, we don't want to discuss that. Oh, really, Chris? It's so sad. I'll tell you, it's so hypocritical, so sad. This is a matter of national security and economic security. The Bidens got rich while American workers got robbed. How can you deal with China if you take out $3.5 billion and make all sorts of money? How can you do it? A critical issue in this election, you saw what I did with China. Billions and billions a year they pay us. I gave a lot of it to the farmers, $28 billion. A critical issue because they were targeted by China. A critical issue in this election is the future of the Minnesota Iron Range. You know that. That's why I'm here. This was just supposed to be a little get-together, and then they said, sir, we got thousands of people want to show up. I don't know how many are involved. This was supposed to be an Iron Range get-together, but it turns out big. You know, Biden has 20, 30 people. He's got those circles. Today, he had a little bit more, like 30 or 40, but they were too close together. I sent him a note, Joe. They were too close, 34 people right next to each other. And yet he complained about our rally, right? Our rallies. Now it's an honor that so many people showed up, because this was going to be a little quickie just to say congratulations, because Obama closed the Iron Range and I opened it. And a man came up to me, a tough man, a man who, a worker, a construction worker, real worker. And he looked at me. This is 2 years ago. He said, sir, you've given us back our life. And he was crying. And I said, when was the last time you cried? He said, I can't remember. I said, you never cried when you were a little baby. You never cried. This is not a crier. This guy was tough as hell. He said, sir, he took our life away. And let me tell you about Joe. Joe will reinstitute that ban in 2 minutes if we lose. So you better vote for him in Minnesota, really. I mean, honestly. He said, you gave our lives back, a lot of lives, thousands of jobs, and they closed it up as Vice President Joe Biden wiped out. He wiped out so much, and that includes what he wiped out in the great state of Minnesota. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to let it happen anymore. Thousands and thousands of workers. We're not going to let it happen anymore. They were all laid off, and now they're all back. And by the way, they say, what the hell do I know about iron ore? But I've bought a lot of steel and a lot of iron over the years. But you know, they say it's the greatest iron ore anywhere in the world, and you should have it. After I put tariffs on foreign steel, the iron rage came roaring back. But the biggest thing I did was knock out his executive order. I've knocked out so much of the things that he did. He can't like me too much. I would say he doesn't like me too much. Hey, did you see what happened with the FBI today? They caught them cold. Comey either has the worst memory in history. Did you see? I don't remember that. Did you spy on President Trump's campaign? Gee, I don't remember that. Did you go for a coup? Did you go for a coup? I don't remember. I'll tell you, we caught him cold. It's about time that something happens, okay? It's about time that something happens. It's enough. We got plenty of information on these crooks, bunch of crooks. Thing like that's never happened in the history of our country, and it's about time that something happens. We rescinded the federal withdrawal in Superior National Forest. You'll know all about that. You people especially, to restore mineral exploration for the iron ore miners in Minnesota. Well, we've done for Minnesota. I lose Minnesota, I'm never coming back. I don't care. I'm never coming back. We protected Iron Range workers from frivolous lawsuits. That was a big deal, right? The frivolous lawsuits. We started construction on the Sulak to get iron ore to market very quickly. So not only did we open it, we get it to market, we fixed the locks, because you couldn't even get it out. Those things were so old and broken. Now they're going to be very shortly in perfect shape. I opened up permitting for copper, nickel mining. Anybody involved there? Oh, it sounded a little far out, but you got a lot of people doing that. And I strongly support the replacement of the decaying Line 3 pipeline. We're going to replace it. It's all done. It's all done. All of this is why 9 Democrat mayors of cities in the Iron Range have endorsed me over Sleepy Joe Biden. Are they here tonight? I don't know if they're here tonight. These people are fantastic. Look at these great congressmen. Where are they? Oh, stand up. Wow. We had a ceremony a month ago where I introduced every one of them. You know, I'm not introducing you again. It's freezing out here. But I want to thank you. You're great people, great mayors, and I appreciate the support very much. These are Democrats that voted for, that want to vote for Trump, that endorsed me fully. We've done a good job over there. Everything in good shape, right? Good. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. If Joe gets in, the radical left will shut down the Iron Range forever. It's going to be gone. They're not going to be able to open it again. Not easy to open a thing like that. Not easy. A lot more difficult than people would think. Earlier today, I took another historic step for your state when I signed an executive order providing billions of dollars to jumpstart production of critical and other minerals, which will create countless jobs and are so important for our country. Minerals. I will always protect the state of Minnesota. I will do that. It's been very good to me. We almost won it. We almost won it. One more speech. I had a choice. Do I do Michigan, which we won? I should have done them both. One more speech. We lost by very little. Think of that, though. Hasn't been won by a Republican. I don't get that because the Democrats have done such a lousy, pathetic job. Hasn't been won since 1972. Reagan lost it. It was the only state he lost, remember? So we're going to change that. We've got to change it. Who's going to do what we've done for you? Right? Another massive issue for Minnesota is the election of Joe Biden's plan to inundate your state with a historic flood of refugees. Biden and crazy Bernie Sanders have agreed on a manifesto. Did you see last night? I didn't agree. After the show, they said, oh, actually he did. Oh, great. They fact-checked. They found out he made a mistake, slight mistake. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. But they pledged a 700% increase in refugees. 700%. Congratulations, Minnesota. Congratulations. Now, and what about Omar, where she gets caught harvesting? What the hell is going on? I hope your U.S. attorney is involved. What is going on with Omar? I've been reading these reports for 2 years about how corrupt and crooked she is. Let's get with it. Let's get with it. I mean, frankly, harvesting's terrible, but it's the least of the things that she has done. How the hell? Then she tells us how to run our country. Can you believe it? How the hell did Minnesota elect her? What the hell is wrong with you people? Right? What the hell happened? These guys in the stand up. Are you a big fan of Omar? I don't think so. Stand up. Look at this guy. It looks like nobody's going to fight him. I don't think you're a big fan of Omar, right? No, she's been crooked for a long time. This is the least of it. It's time. And you know what? AOC also, it's time. It's time. You take a look at what the corruption, the disgusting corruption. 700% increase, refugees coming from the most dangerous places in the world, including Yemen, Syria, and your favorite country, Somalia, right? You love Somalia. This guy loves Somalia. Biden will turn Minnesota into a refugee camp, and he said that. Overwhelming public resources, overcrowding schools, and inundating your hospitals. You know that. It's already there. It's a disgrace what they've done to your state. It's a disgrace, okay? Biden has even pledged to terminate our travel ban on jihadist regions, opening the floodgates to radical Islamic terrorism. Remember, I used to talk about it all the time. I got a ban. Remember they said you'd never be able to get a ban? And then I lost at the lower court. I lost at the Court of Appeals. And they said, he lost in Houston. Then I won at the Supreme Court. They didn't even report it. Yeah. And they still say he lost on the travel ban. He lost. But they are talking about the first two courts. They forget to say that at the Supreme Court we won. These are the most dishonest people. It's hard to believe, actually. But look at all those cameras. That's a lot. They love it. I love every time I'm getting ready. You know, they've gotten very good at this. Every time I'm getting ready to hit them, the lights just go off. You know those red lights? My administration is keeping terrorists, extremists, and criminals out of our country, and we're keeping them the hell out of Minnesota. And we've ended the refugee influx into your state. You were one of the most hard-hit states for whatever reason. We've ended it. You know that, right? Do you know that? Does anybody know this? Does anybody know this? I don't think they tell you about it, but, you know, they talk about the suburbs, women in the suburbs. I ended a regulation that nobody would have done. This brings public housing, low-income housing into the suburbs. And by the way, just so we can get this straight, 30% of the people in the suburbs are low-income people. 30% of the people in the suburbs are minorities. And so we're ruining this American dream for everybody. But he's got a plan. It's the worst thing you've ever seen, having to do with zoning. They zone you out. They build low-income housing next to your house. It's crazy. And then I hear, I'm not doing well in the suburbs. I'm not doing well in the suburbs. Are you people crazy? Are you crazy? I just explained this. No, I just explained it. Thank you. No, it's crazy. And they came to me, great people, Ben Carson, a lot of great people. And they came to me and they said, sir, why don't we just amend it? I said, no, really, I want it out. I want it over. I want it ended. Well, it would be a lot easier to amend it. I said, no, I want it over. It's not right. It's killing your suburbs. And it is. It's killing your suburbs. And then they say, women in the suburbs don't like President Trump. I don't think so. That happened last time. Remember? That happened last. Remember last time? They said he will not do well with women. He will not do well with women. He will not do well with women. These were the idiots on election night 4 years ago. He will not do. This will be a very short night for Donald Trump at the time. This will be a very short. Then at the end, they said he did really well with women. That was sort of weird. Anyway, we did well with everybody, actually, and we're going to do even better now. We have more enthusiasm. Look at this crowd. This was supposed to be a few people. This was supposed to be just a little celebration. I said, oh, good, a little celebration. I figured a couple of hundred people like Sleepy Joe gets at his best day. I said, how many people? About 10,000, sir. I said, oh, that's nice. In just 3.5 years, we've secured America's border, rebuilt awesome power of the U.S. military, obliterated the ISIS caliphate, fixed our disastrous trade deals, and they were a disaster, and brought jobs back home to America and back home to Minnesota. We brought a lot of jobs back. Last year, before the plague came in from China, you had the best year you've ever had. The year before that, you had the best year you've ever had until the following year. And we're doing it again. We're building it up rapidly. China came up. They gave us the plague. It's no good. We're never going to forget that. I did a trade deal. The ink wasn't even dry. And they let that happen. We're never going to forget it. We built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we are quickly doing it again. We've added a historic 10.6 million jobs in the last 4 months. That's a record, the likes of which has never even been close to being challenged. To fight the China virus, we launched the largest national mobilization since World War II. We pioneered life-saving therapies, reducing the fatality rate 85% since April. Think of that, meaning you go to the hospital and you got a lot better chance. I'll tell you what, I spoke to a gentleman today from Pfizer. I speak to all of these guys. These are great people, and they're coming up with things that are phenomenal. Regeneron, we are coming up with things that are phenomenal, including therapeutics or therapies. It's incredible what's happening. You'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing it very. And by the way, with Biden, it would have been years before you came up with any of this stuff. Years. It would have been years. He complains, you didn't act fast enough, and yet he's all over the place calling me xenophobic because I closed the border. Okay, how do you figure that one? This guy, just a politician. He's just another politician. 47 years, he hasn't done a damn thing. But now he's going to. But now he's going to. I haven't done anything in 47 years, but now I'm going to. Europe is almost a 50% greater excess mortality rate than the United States. You don't hear that. Through Operation Warp Speed, we will develop and distribute a vaccine in record time. It's going to be very, very soon. And before the end of the year, maybe sooner than that. On November 3rd, Minnesota will decide whether we end this pandemic, defeat the virus, and return to record prosperity. Either way, we're returning. Either way. We're going to have the vaccine. We're rounding the turn. Well, whether we allow Joe Biden to kill the recovery, you know, he wants a shutdown. This guy says, let's shut it down. A lot of death caused by shutdown. Depression, death, drugs, alcoholism. Horrendous family fights, horrendous family fights. And he wants to destroy those suburbs by abolishing single-family zoning. All of these things are just a horrible thing, what he wants to do. And I think he's going to do it because he's not smart enough to understand that the other side has big problems. You know, we did something great. We had the greatest economy in history, and we had to close it down because we would have lost millions of lives. And now we're opening it up, and we're doing it at a level like nobody's ever seen before. And it's a great thing. And we're going to be back in business very soon, except for some Democrats. And they'll all open up. They're going to all open up right after November 3rd. They'll announce. We'd like to tell you that we're all opening up November 4th. Did you see the one group? They said, we're opening up, yeah, right after the election. I think we'll open up. Oh, that's great. These are terrible people because they're more interested in politics than they are in the lives of people. They want to confiscate your guns and indoctrinate your children with poisonous anti-American rhetoric and lies. To combat the toxic left, and you see this, that toxic left-wing propaganda in our schools, we are launching a new pro-American lesson plan for students called the 1776 Commission. We will teach our children the truth about America, that we are the most exceptional nation on the face of the earth. That's what I want them to hear. We are joined tonight by some real warriors, friends of mine. They fight with, they just win. They know how to win. I'm telling you, you have some great ones, and they really are. They're great people. The impeachment hoax, they fought it so great. These are real warriors. I call them warriors. Representatives Tom Emmer, Jim Hagedorn, And Pete Starberg, great hockey player. And I'll tell you, we have some incredible congressional candidates that we're going to work because we got to get Nancy Pelosi the hell out of there, and we're very close. We have some candidates. Tyler Christner, where's Tyler? Where's Tyler? Thank you, Tyler. Great job. I hear great things, Tyler. A man with the greatest name in politics, Lacey Johnson. Great guy. Great guy. And somebody that's going to help us a lot, along with Tyler and Lacey, Michelle Fishback. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. We're going to be working with you. And they all have my total endorsement. You know that, okay? The next U.S. Senator from Minnesota is a man who was born for this position, unlike your current senator, who nobody knows who the hell she is. Who is she? I said, who is she? Is she in the Senate? Jason Lewis. Jason. Thank you, Jason. Great job you're doing. We got to get Jason in. Got to get them all in. RNC co-chairman Tommy Hicks. Tommy Hicks. Thank you, Tommy. And Mike Lindell, he makes more pillows, this guy. He makes more pillows. Thank you, Mike. He goes to a lot of my rallies. He likes these rallies. And we like him. Here as well tonight is 96-year-old World War II veteran, Dr. John Ringsred. Whoa, look at you. Whoa. You look great, John. Wow. You look good, handsome. Thank you, John. Thank you very much. It's an honor, John. After years of rebuilding other nations, we are finally rebuilding our nation. In 2017, I signed a very historic executive order, making it difficult and really just looking at what government policy has to do in order to buy American and hire American. You ever see Biden? He's got a sign, buy American. I said, he got it from me. I've been doing this for a long time. He copies my campaign, copies our plans. He copies a lot. You haven't heard that before. He invested $2.5 trillion in the military. We put $2.5 trillion in. We have the best weapons, all made in the USA. We have the greatest weaponry we've ever had. No country has ever come close to the kind of firepower we have. Hopefully, hope to God we never have to use it. We have firepower and weapons, and the Republicans did it because the Democrats don't. We have to have that. Otherwise, we're going to be at the mercy of other countries. We have the greatest firepower, the greatest weapons in the history of the world. Hope to God that we never have to use them. And we launched a new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces, first since the Air Force in 75 years. It's called the Space Force. That's a big deal. We killed the founder and leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, gone. We took out the world's #1 terrorist and the murder of so many American troops and plenty of other troops. Qasem Soleimani is no longer with us. I withdrew from the last administration's total disaster, the Iran nuclear deal, okay? Obama gave him $150 billion. That was bad, but he gave him $1.8 billion in cash. How the hell do you do that? What does $1.8 billion in cash look like? They must have looked at that. They said, man, plane loads of cash. I kept my promise, recognized the true capital of Israel, and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and instead of endless wars, we are forging peace in the Middle East. And I was nominated for 3 Nobel Prizes, and not one, I didn't get one song. I didn't get one song. I have to tell you, because they refused to write it. When Obama got his Nobel Prize, they didn't, I mean, it was the biggest story I've ever seen, right? And he didn't even know why he got it. He got it like immediately upon taking office. What a difference. But I told my first lady, I told our first lady, darling, you're going to be so proud of me tonight. We're going to watch television, and you're not going to believe how big this got. What happened? What happened? Darling, I was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for Israel, right? Bahrain, United Arab Emirates. And then again, I was nominated again for Serbia, Kosovo, all different. Then I was nominated a third time. But I said, first time, second time I was a little bit, yeah, I know, I love you too. But I said to our First Lady, watch this tonight, darling. It's going to be. And I turned to Lester Holt, #2 show. I turned to Lester Holt, and they covered one story was about rain. Another was about the environment. Another was about something else. Another was a bad hit on me. Another was something else. So now we're through with about half of it. Now they went to the longest commercial I've ever seen. Not supposed to. You know, when you report the fake news, you're not supposed to get free airtime from the U.S. government, right? Does anybody know what that means? And then they went on to the second half. Again and again and again. She looked at me, darling, I don't think they're going to cover this. I said, it's impossible. It's a nomination for the Nobel Peace Award. It's impossible. Guess what? It ended. We got nothing. Then 3 days later, we got nothing. And on the third time, I said, let's not even watch. We're not going to get it. These people are sick. But I did more in 47 months than Sleepy Joe Biden did in 47 years. And now he's pushing the most far-left platform in history. The Biden plan would destroy Social Security and destroy protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Give free federal health care to all illegal aliens, bankrupting Medicare. Well, you know what's going to happen. They're going to pour into our country. When you hear that, they're going to come in. They're very smart, very sophisticated. You'd be surprised. Ban school choice and ban all charter schools. No more charter schools, no more school choice. Well, we're making a lot of progress. In the second term, I will provide school choice to every parent in America. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. And in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world. And we will end our reliance on China once and for all. Did you see what he said last night about manufacturing? Well, Obama said we're not going to ever have manufacturing, and you need a magic wand. Last time he said we're doing manufacturing. No. They gave up on manufacturing. I had almost 700,000 manufacturing jobs. I said, how can you lose manufacturing? These bad news, they lie. We will make our medical supplies right here in the United States. We will hire more police, increase penalties on assaults. And we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. Second Amendment. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep people out of our country. Thank you. But we will keep out of these ridiculous, endless wars in countries that you've never heard of and you never will hear of. It's ridiculous. And we're bringing them all home. You see that. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. That's what we have. Ridiculous. We're all over the world. We're in places nobody ever heard of before. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency. I've already signed it. Can you believe it kicks in on January 1st? Can you imagine if this clown gets in and they'll say, you got price transparency. What's that? That'll have such an impact. It kicks in. I said to my people, do you think you could have kicked it in a little bit earlier? I'd further reduce health insurance premiums and the cost of prescription drugs, which we're going to be bringing down massively because of favored nations. We will strongly protect Medicare and Social Security, and we will always protect those incredible people, as I said, with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars, and it will be soon. You have to see NASA has become again the greatest space center in the world. You had to see what it looked like when I took over. It was terrible. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. Right? We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Minnesota. Thank you. But if we don't win, I'm never calling you great again. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, and get your coworkers and get out and vote. We got to win. We got to win. Early voting has already begun. Don't wait. Please go out and vote. Did you see in New York today? 100,000 fraudulent ballots. They sent out 100,000 ballots. Wrong names, wrong addresses, wrong envelopes. Other than that, they did quite well. Think of it, 100,000. So you know what their solution? That's okay, we'll send out another 100,000. I said, really? What's going to happen to the first 100,000? Who's going to vote them? This is crazy what's going on. This is crazy. From St. Paul to St. Cloud, from Minneapolis to Minnetonka, and from Rochester to right here in Duluth. I like Duluth. This great state was pioneered by men and women who braved the wilderness and the winters to build a better life for themselves and for their families. They were truly brave, brilliant, incredible people. They were tough and they were strong. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury, but they had grit, they had faith, and they had each other. They were miners and lumberjacks, fishermen and farmers, shipbuilders and shopkeepers, but they all had one thing in common. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. It's true. We're going to keep on winning. You know, Minnesota, maybe I'll just do it real sick because we need Jason. Jason Lewis. Jason's going to come. Jason Lewis going to be your senator. You're going to win so much. You know that one, right? You've heard it. Should I do it or not? Yeah. Got this beautiful crescendo of a speech, and now I have to ruin it with this story with Jason, but let's do it anyway. But we're going to win so much. Because Minnesota, before I came around, was not doing too well, okay? Was not doing too well. Then you had your best years ever. But we're going to win so much, and you're going to go and see your great senator, Jason Lewis. He's going to say, and you're going to see Emmer, and you're going to see all of it. And you're going to say, Mr. Senator, please go see the president. We're winning too much. We can't stand it, sir. Minnesota, we're not used to winning this much. It's too much, sir. Please, go see. Well, I don't want to do that. Please, Senator, go see the president. We're winning too much. We cannot stand it. For years, we've done poorly before he came along. Now we're doing so well. And we're growing now stronger than ever before. We don't want to win so much, Mr. Senator. So your senator's going to come in. Hi, Jason. How you doing, sir? Minnesota's winning too much. We have to stop it. I said, what are you talking about? Sir, we have to stop it. It's just too much winning. We have to stop it. I say, Jason, let me tell you. I know the people of Minnesota, and they love winning. They're going to keep winning. We're going to win. We're going to win so much. We're going to keep on winning, and you're going to have the greatest year that you've ever had next year and the year after, and that's where it's heading. So I just want to thank you. And Jason, I'm sorry. I will not follow your wish. Thank you very much. But we're one movement, we're one family, we're one beautiful people and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Minnesota, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Minnesota. Go out and vote. Thank you.
There's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for your men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can get yourself free. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young man, are you listening to me? I said, young man, what do you want to be? I said, young man, you can make real your dreams, but you got to know this one thing. No man does it all by himself. I said, young man, put your pride on the shelf and just go down to the YMCA. I'm sure they can help you today. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for your men to enjoy. You can hang out with all my boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young man, I was once in your shoes. I said I was down and out with the blues. I felt no man. Cared if I were alive. I felt the whole world was so tired. That's when someone came up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street. It's a place there called the YMCA. They can stop you on your way. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for your men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, are you listening to me? Young man, what do you want to be? YMCA. You'll find it at the YMCA. Young man, does it all by himself. Young man, put your pride on the shelf.
seamstress for the band, pretty eyed, pirate smile. You marry a music man, ballerina. You must have seen her dancing in the sand. Now she's in me, always with me, tiny dancing in my hand. Jesus freaks out in the street, handing tickets out for gone. Turning back, she just laughs. The boulevard is not that bad. Piano man, he makes a stand in their auditorium, looking on. She sings the song, the words she knows, tune she hums. Oh, how I feel so real, lying here with no one near, only you. And you can hear me when I say softly, slowly. Hold me close, I've time to dance. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in the sheets of land. You had a busy day today. Hold me close, I'm trying to dance. Down the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in the sheets of land. You had a busy day today. Blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band, pretty eyed, pirate smile. You marry a music man, ballerina. You must have seen her dancing in the sand. Now she's in me, always with me, tiny dancer in my hand. Oh, how I feel so real, lying here with no one near, only you. And you can hear me when I say softly, slowly. Hold me close, I'm trying to dance. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in the sheets of land.
the highway. Lay me down in the sheets of linen. You had a beautiful day today.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. I've had a few, then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway. More, much more than this, I did it my